I believe 18 to 22 is your time to grind. Like really grind, put your head down, work as hard as you can. You're young, you're healthy, you have so much energy. And then when you start to get a little older and you figure it out, because of the hours that you've put in, you figured out your business and you figured out your pursuit finally, then you can start to work a bit smarter and pull off the
21, 22, 23 years old, right? You don't have to figure it out right now. Don't try, right? You spend all this money paying to learn. Now it's your chance to get paid to learn. You don't need the perfect job. You just need to go somewhere where you'll learn and start to be exposed to different ideas. You're a free agent. And you're always going to be a free agent on the market. Do what's best for you. What have you got to lose? You can get a job that doesn't have to be perfect. You can learn at that job and try the next job. Don't look for the perfect answer. Just look to get the experience, look to learn, because all these different exposures, all the different things you learn, learning how to learn, that's what's going to get you excited and juice you for something that you love. Because once you find something you love to do, that's when the magic happens. Because when you're able to find something you love to do, then you can start focusing on, how can I be great at this? Then you can try to be great at it, and it's rare when people quit things they're great at.
So I'm in my 30s now, and when I look back on my 20s, you know, everybody says the 20s are the best years of your life, that you should be just enthusiastic and loving it. But what they don't tell you is that your 20s also come with a lot of confusion and a lot of comparison, where you feel like, man, I'm not as far along as I should be, a lot of loneliness too. And so if you find yourself today where you're in your 20s and you don't feel like you're carefree and living the roaring 20s that you should be living, that's okay. You're actually exactly where you should be, because your 20s are going to be filled with days that you're on top of the world and you're carefree. And it's also going to be filled with a lot of days where you're hustling, you're grinding, you feel alone, and that's okay. So let this be a wake-up call for you. Keep getting out there, keep living your dreams. You're exactly where you should be.
Advice for people in their 20s. Gosh, being in your 20s is hard. There's a lot of pressure to zero in on like your passion in life and what you want to do, and to make sure that it's really fulfilling and that you're going to love it and that you're really great at it and that you can make a lot of money at it. It's tough. Like the general roadmap seems to be go to school, get the perfect job, get married, maybe have a kid, stay out of debt, buy a house. Like there's all these pressures that kind of feel impossible to keep up with all of them. So here's something that's a bit more flexible. Just get good at what interests you. Like if there's something in the moment that you find really engaging, learn everything you can about it and try to get as competent as you can at just that thing. It doesn't really have to be your passion. It doesn't have to be something that would turn into a career. Like for a long time, I was really interested in like tropical plants and pottery and a bunch of stuff that I don't use now. But you know what I also did a lot of? Photography and making videos and reading philosophy and psychology. Public speaking courses at college that I didn't think I would use. So I didn't know this would be my job. I didn't know I'd be making TikTok and Instagram and YouTube videos for people on psychology. I didn't figure that out until I was like 27, that I was even going to be a therapist, So, I don't know, collect things, collect competencies and skills and interests and put them in your belt. And some of them you're going to use, some of them you're not going to use. But what you're doing is you're practicing the mental, muscle memory of getting good at things, and what it looks like to invest all of your interest and really expand your understanding of something and then learn how to utilize it to make something beautiful and good in the world. That's a skill. And that's actually a skill you can practice by just engaging things that are interesting. Some of the, particulars are going to be more or less helpful. But when you actually do get down the road, then you find something that you want to take on for your career, you're going to have the competency.
You're 20 years old or in your 20s and you're listening to your parents or your family tell you about what direction that you should go in your life. My best advice to you would be this. Number one, don't take their advice. Go out and find the person whose life you want. Go find that person. Ask them to go out for coffee, ask them to buy them breakfast, dinner, get 15 minutes of their time, and ask that person what they did to get to where they are. Everybody else is irrelevant. I don't care if your family raised you and all that BS. Okay, good. Great job. And they should be rewarded and honored for that. Whatever it is that you want, your ideal scenario in life, you got to go find the person whose life you want. Ignore everybody else. Everybody else. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, everybody. Your best friend, everybody. And you just go and look and listen to what that person does. And you just copy that. And I guarantee you'll be where you want to be in life.
Advice for people in their 20s on my last day of being in my 20s. Your friendships will change, and that's okay. The best ones are the ones when it picks up where it left off, like no time passed at all. Boundaries can be weird, but they are so important. Creating them are a way you respect yourself, your time, and your values. Set them early, because it's much harder to build them once they've been crossed. Recreate the way others occur to you. You've changed over time. Allow them to as well.
Oh god, I sound like mom.
Find out what boils your blood, what keeps you up at night, and stand tall for it. We're never too young or too old to start. And lastly, when that inner voice, gut feeling is firing, listen to it. If it's telling you to speak up, to leave, to go for it, or reach out to someone, do it. My only regret of my 20s is that I didn't listen to it sooner. Boom, baby.
If you're in your early 20s, I just want to tell you something. I'm emotional right now. I'm 35 and I just found my journal entries from when I was 22 and 23. And I was so sad. I'm getting emotional about it. I was so sad. Like, here's an excerpt. I just want to make things and stop feeling frustrated a lot and feel more okay in my skin, more able to comprehend, more understanding of my role on this vast earth, make more things and maybe sell them. And it goes on and on. It's just me feeling so out of place. I had almost forgotten how tortured I was at that age. And I'm saying this just because I want you to know, if you're there, if you're in your early 20s or any age, and you're feeling tormented and tortured and frustrated and don't know which way is up, that it gets better, that it can get better, that it does get better. I promise you, I'm here standing in my 30s loving it. Just don't give up. I hope this helps one person today.
You are 22 years old. You are entering, first of all, some of the greatest years of your life, A. But B, you have to understand, this next 5-year window is when you don't go practical and safe. This is not the time to get the job mom wanted you to. This is not the time to try to maximize as much money so you can buy a fat whip. This is when you need to attack what you love and what you want to do. Here's why. You don't have all the baggage. You may have the expectations of your parents. You may have a lot of other things. Do you understand? This is not when the baby's there. This is not when the world has sucked out all your dreams and hopes yet. It's harder for the 42-year-olds that are watching right now to listen to this advice. You can't just wake up tomorrow and be like, let's go. Because little Sally has soccer fucking practice. This is when you put in the 18 hours a day to make your life that you want happen. This is when you can grind at your highest levels. You get to live life one time.